All right, here we are, South by Southwest, 2014. Chris, Oliver, and Jano, the Wood Brothers. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's really good to have you here, and I know to you guys, your story is kind of old, and you've told it many, many times, but I think there's a lot of people in here who would like to hear the story because I think it's pretty wild. You would assume you guys have been playing together your whole lives, yet you took these paths and went different directions for many years and then came back together. Tell everybody how that kind of went down and where your careers went.
Brief version.
Well, first we were born. I don't know what. Like, I mean,
Well, I was.
Who's the older brother?
he wasn't. He was born first, and started playing music before I did. I guess we both started pretty early,
Yeah, we both
dabbling
started
with
playing music.
different instruments.
Yep. I actually got a bass. Wanted a bass for Christmas when I was like 15, and I got a bass, and I tired of it quickly and gave it to him, which I could take a lot of credit for his stardom now. So I moved on to guitar because the world needs more guitar players, of course. But kind of briefly, you know, Chris and I, we're 4 years apart, and we played together as teenagers when we got proficient enough to do that, and we used to write little ditties on our 4-track and stuff like that. But when we left the house, I went a few places, but ended up in Atlanta, Georgia, and lived there for really my entire adulthood. And
I went up to New York City, and then started, you know, this band Medeski, Martin and Wood. Meanwhile, Oliver was starting King Johnson in Atlanta, and just over the next 15 to 20 years, we were just touring and had our own separate careers, and we didn't really look up from what we were doing until about 8 years ago and realized, like, man, we got the same job. And you know, I think partly what really brought us together is our mom got sick with ALS, and so it was a real family crisis, and it brought the family together. And so we really started hanging out a lot by just reuniting back with our parents and writing songs, and decided we should make music together.
And when and where did you guys pick up Jano?
we picked up Jano now 3 years ago. He is the 3 years a Wood brother now, and and Jano was living in Nashville and playing with another band, and we sort of met him on the road doing just touring, and liked what he did, and turned out he was already familiar with our music, and it just worked out great. So.
Have you considered legally making him a Wood brother?
Absolutely.
Change the story?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you feel like a brother to these guys?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That feels good.
What do you think it
now
would
that
have been?
he's sorry, but now that he said that, total wedgie later. Like,
It's nice not to be the youngest anymore.
What do you think it would have been like for you guys as teens? You're like, we're starting a band and we're going to do this. How would that have been?
Epic failure. No, I think well, you know, it's sort of a classic story. A lot of brother bands, you know, internal tension and all this stuff happens, competition, and things get weird. So I think there's an advantage to waiting till you're in your 40s to start a brother band, you know, because you kind of shed a lot of your baggage, and you get humbled, and you know, you're just a little more realistic, and you don't take stuff for granted as much, and so it just feels good to do it at this time in our lives.
Now, will you continue, Chris, your jazz trio? And I think, Oliver, you played on a recent record that just came out. I mean, will you guys continue to do these other projects? I know it's tough time-wise.
Yeah, all of us do other things when we're not doing this. This is sort of our more full-time than anything else stuff.
Yeah, this
but
is
we
the
all
main thing.
Yeah, we all do studio things. I do some production. Chris still tours with Medeski, Martin Wood, and Jano is an amazing studio musician and does all kinds of album projects and solo things. So,
I mean, Jano sings and plays drums, but also plays the shitar, you know, the percussion instrument that allows us to do what we just did, you know, play unplugged, but have a drum beat, basically. Yeah. In a very kind of American original way. It's not like a cajon or a shakare or some kind of, you know, it's like that's an American invention. It's kind of, we're Americana, damn it.
And then this is just a fun question, especially living in the South now. I know you guys originally from Colorado and some time in New York and Atlanta, as you mentioned. But if people ever come to a gig expecting to meet Glenn and Leonard Wood of the Ford Racing Team, also known as the Wood Brothers,
Right. Right.
and they're like, damn, these aren't the Wood Brothers, I thought.
Yeah.
That has not happened?
Yeah, that's not happened yet, although I'm sure online there's been people looking for the Wood Brothers, and they found either, NASCAR things, or they found like lumber and stuff.
Yeah, there's
like
a
that.
lumber. If you don't put the, it goes to a lumber site, so you can.
All right, then. I'm going to kind of put you guys on the spot. You've been more than generous with your time today. I thought it'd be fun, and you guys tell me if you agree, if you could play another tune out here for the crowd.
Where did you come from, lady? Ooh, won't you take me there? Right away, won't you, baby? Tenderoni, you got to be. Spark my nature. Sugar fly with me. You know now is the perfect time. We can dim the lights just to make it right. And tonight is love and pain. I want to take you to the max. I want to love you. Pretty young thing. You need some loving. And love and care. And I'll take you there. Nothing can stop this yearning. Desire that I feel for you. Gotta get you, baby. Won't you come? It's emergency.